Day two of this historic one of test concluding just now, and what a brilliant and dominating performance it has been for Team India. This is the post match show of day two, and I have with me Nishant Jeet Arora to talk about this day. Thank you so much for joining. Nishant, if we can have you straight away talking to us about India's bowling approach. Because there were so many interruptions in between, the rain coming and going, but still India not giving into England's batters.
I think it has been a superb day for India with whatever cricket we had. And if you remember in the morning, I was telling you the perfect script for me. If there was no rain, I think Indian bowlers would have pretty much achieved that script. It started with a Jadeja getting his 100, and then Captain Bumrah uh, playing a little cameo that was so entertaining, making a record. So that's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So, and after that, Indian bowlers, Ju Bumrah, the batsman, then Bumrah, the bowler. It's a very, cricket is a very funny game. Like sometimes the way you played the last over, you will carry that momentum while fielding as well. Sometimes you will see that a team in any game, a team is down and out, and suddenly in the 19th over or 20th over of a T20 game, they got 28 runs or 26 runs. When they will come back to bowl, they will suddenly look like a different side. And I think the moment India got those 400 runs, they had their fast bowlers had their tails up. They were ready. They were ready to, and after that, Indian bowling was so perfect. I will give you a one small example that how the team worked, the entire bowling unit worked as a team. The Joe Root wicket actually belonged to Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah. There were two to three consistent maiden overs where Root was troubled by Shami more with his in swinging balls a lot of times, and you could make out that as a batsman, he's trying his best to be on the other side, on the non-strikers end. And the moment Muhammad Siraj came, he tried that only. He was trying to get that single. So, the pressure was created by
Exactly.
Shami, the pressure was created by Bumrah. The wicket went to Siraj. And I don't know whether you were listening to commentary at that time. There was a very interesting stat told by Nasser Hussain, and Nasser always comes up with brilliant things like this. He said that, over the years, Shami has been the most unlucky bowler in England. He has gone past the edge so many times that it is unbelievable. I feel sad for him.
Yes.
And then there
Yes.
was this analyst Freddie Wild. He's a good friend and he is a top-notch cricket analyst. He immediately said that he sent them stats to Nasir, and he said that actually 379 balls, close to 64 overs, Bumrah has passed the edge, which could have converted into a wicket. Sorry, not Bumrah, Shami. So you can imagine how unlucky he has been. And today also, Shami doesn't have a wicket to show. But if I am allowed, I will take one wicket out of Bumrah and give it to Shami at least. So it's a great day for Indian team today.
Indeed, it was. And since you have picked up the all important topic of Mohammad Shami, even earlier today we were talking about how brilliant Mohammad Shami is. If he's not bagging wickets, he's ensuring that he's choking opposition batters. So let's have you talking us through that, of course, that all important root wicket, because. Jasprit Bumrah, the bowler and the captain. Then you have Muhammad Shami, and then finally Siraj executing it for you. How did you see things strategizing at that time? Because Root's wicket is what ensures a particular team that finally we have the big fish, and now we can completely choke because Root is completely massively in form right now.
Yeah, it was a big wicket. And, the two most dangerous batters were on the crease. And it just shows that how India has dominated this test match. I thought uh, that this was very Brendan McCullum thing to do, where they sent the night watchman in place of uh, Ben Stokes, because it was not like only 2 or 3 overs were left, and everyone knew that this Indian bowling is on fire right now, and they took a gamble, and that was a negative gamble, and they lost Jack Leach as well. Now, yeah, they are suddenly looking at the score. Maybe the one wicket is of night watchman, but you are 83 for 5. Tomorrow morning, you lose one of the batters, Baristow or Ben Stokes, Indian team is in the tail. So it's just the kind of pressure India created. Hats off to Bumrah, the captain. I'll tell you something about Bumrah. Bumrah made his debut when I was with the Indian cricket team. And from that day itself, one thing which I like exceptionally, like, uh, sometimes I speak with him. He's a very, very, very calm, very composed. What I like about him, he's a very earnest cricketer. Have you ever seen Bumrah over celebrating a wicket? When he takes a wicket, his demeanor is that this is his job. That's why he's taken in the team. Like, do you see
Very matured.
very matured, very calm, very composed. I remember once I was talking to Sunny Bai about Sachin Tendulkar. I said, "What do you like the most about him?" He said, "Balance, balance off the field, balance on the field." And that was such a powerful line to describe Tendulkar, the cricketer. And I think with great certainty, I will use that line for someone like Bumrah as well. His balance. So when I used to say that he's a captaincy material, not because I like him, but if you look at the character, the way, I know this very well. Most of the bowlers, you know what the problem is when you're a bowling captain, you keep thinking about captaincy, you keep thinking about where my fielders are, you keep thinking about a lot of things, because you're a captain, you're in charge of the 11 people, you are in charge of how the game is going to be played here. But Bumrah has such composure, such clarity, and he will compartmentalize his two roles so perfectly, because that's what he is as a person. He will never mix two things. So once he will go on that bowling run up, the captain will be out, and he will do it so beautifully. And it's not easy. We all do daily things in life. Just imagine, I have some work to finish, but at the same time I'm doing the show and I'm running on a deadline. I will be thinking about that deadline. Oh, I have to finish the show, I have to go there, I have to do this. But with Bumrah, once he will be on that bowling lineup, he bowling run up, he will be the bowler Bumrah. Once he will finish that over, he will come back to the captain Bumrah.
Yes.
And that is why I feel that he is a great potential to be the captain of India. And he has shown those signs. Like, look at the way he batted. Did you see any nerves, anything? Did you see anything in the bowling? He was like the same Bumrah, taking wickets,
Extremely
happy.
professional in his approach.
Yeah. And I think he has set up this match for India. Day two belongs to Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah, the batter, Jasprit Bumrah, the bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, the captain. We all Indians should be really, really proud of him and celebrate Bumrah, the cricketer. We are lucky that we live in the times when, as cricketers, we are able to see probably one of the finest fast bowling attacks India has ever produced. Like a combination. I'm not talking like Kapil Dev was a great fast bowler, Srinath was a great fast bowler, Zahir Khan was a great fast bowler. But as a bowling unit, probably one of the finest India has ever produced. And for me, who has grown up in 90s, scared of fast bowlers from across the world, the Ambroses and Walshes and the W's, Wakars and Wasims, Donalds and Pollocks, to see my Indian team doing that to the best batters in the world is a dream come true. Like, I have grown up being scared of fast bowlers from all over the world. We knew that we don't have them, but if India will have them, we will be a very good side. And that is what has happened in my lifetime. I'm very happy.
We all are. And speaking of having a very good bowling unit, let's talk about our Indian pacers. Interesting statistics, multiple interesting statistics had come out when India were bowling. One of them being that Indian pacers have bagged like 66 now. with the wicket of Jack Leach is 67 wickets around the world, which is the highest. Which also, and Jasprit Bumrah has an average of 23.56, which is currently the best in the world. And I had heard one of the commentators also, comparing the Indian bowling lineup to the very feared West Indies bowling lineup of the 70s and the 80s. So, your thoughts on that?
If you want me to compare the bowling of 70s and 80s with the current Indian bowling,
Just a comment, because I had heard one of the commentators just stating that this Indian bowling lineup, as you also stated, is like literally the world's best. So
yeah,
it just reminds
I will
me.
tell you.
Yes.
I'll tell you, Damini. In the 90s when the great Tendulkar was playing and people like Dravid and Gangulis were making their debuts for India, and when we used to tour abroad, and you know, for example, we are playing in South Africa. You have Alan Donald. You think that Alan Donald will bowl his 6 overs, and you will have Pollock from the other end. You will finish Pollock. You will have Alan Donald coming back for the second spell. You will have Macmillan. So same with Australia. Same with Australia. Glenn McGrath, Jason Gillespie, Shane Warne. They used to all hunt and pack. They were like wolves. Okay, as a batter, you feel okay. I think their fastest bowler is Courtney Walsh. I will survive his spell. I'll take it from there. You survive Courtney Walsh's spell. You have Curtly Ambrose taking the run up. Now think about it. How you will feel. Oh my god. When you have 3 to 4 bowlers consistently bowling at you at 140, around that area between 138 to 142, those are very tough questions. Very, very tough questions. It is, I don't know, you're a math student or a science student. It is like you are suddenly told that tomorrow is your metric 10th exam and you have not studied maths for like 10 days or week. You are in that kind of a situation. I try to
I'm a,
simplify
I
cricket.
was a proud humanities. I was a proud humanities student. I take pride in saying that.
Yeah. So now with this Indian team, in these conditions where the ball is nipping a bit, it is swinging a bit, where ball and Duke's ball always does something. You have three bowlers who are consistently bowling at 140, 145. Add to that, Bumrah probably because of the rain breaks has bowled the longest spell today because the moment he got tired, rain came in. They went in, he refreshed, he came back again, started from where he left. Otherwise, after 5, 6 overs, as a batter, you know that this spell could be minimum, maximum 5 overs, 6 overs. Then there will be someone else. At least there will be a breather. And as a batter, also you talk with each other. So if Root is little uncomfortable against Bumrah, he will go to the other partner and say, "Look, you take care of Bumrah. I'll take care of Shami." That's how you survive those spells. But when there is no respite, what do? And that is, it's like a pressure cooker situation. The whistle has to blow off at some stage, and that is why I told you the Root was in that pressure cooker at that moment. 3 4 overs continuously, they were hounding him, they were all over him. And the moment he saw Siraj, he must have taken in his mind a breather, little breather. Okay, thank God it's not Bumrah, thank God it's not Shami. And that subconscious mind would have asked him to play that shot, and there is that mistake.
Yes,
That is how it happened. It's a and
exactly.
and this Indian side, that is why it's so important that Siraj, Shami, Bumrah, sitting on the bench Umesh Yadav, sitting on the bench Prasidh Krishna, all of them also 140. So these are great days for Indian fast bowling. Please enjoy them. Ask us poor old people who have been traumatized our entire childhood. You are lucky to be living in the day and age of Bumrahs and Shamis. We are traumatized souls. Uh, Wasim Akram's Yorkers have crushed us. Cotley Ambrose bouncers have wrapped on our hands. We have scars of Manoj Prabhakar walking out with a broken nose and blood coming out. We have scars of Shoaib Akhtar bowling those two deadly Yorkers at Eden Gardens to get rid of Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid in quick succession. And today you see your fast bowlers doing that. You say, "Wow, that's fantastic."
It is indeed a delightful scene there. And speaking of Jasprit Bumrah, let's celebrate Jasprit Bumrah a little more. We got to see all the three dimensions of Bumrah today: Bumrah the batter, Bumrah the captain, and Bumrah the bowler. So, Bumrah the batter we have discussed. Let's have you talking us about Bumrah the captain a bit, because at one point I'll tell you that you must have seen that Joe Root LBW appeal had Bumrah on other occasions, being just a bowler, he would have definitely coaxed the captain to go for the review. But for the first time, even the commentators were compelled to say that so much of maturity Jasprit Bumrah showed immediately when that captaincy responsibility was bestowed upon him. Your thoughts on that?
The thing about Bumrah is that he's such a sorted person in life and in cricket, and that reflects in his entire personality as well. He will never get overexcited. The moment that ball hit the pads, he could visualize that, from a naked eye, in that, split of second, you always feel, oh, it would have hit the stumps. But he immediately realized that this ball would have gone past. The height was an issue, it would have gone over the stumps. So that's maturity. What is maturity? Maturity is when you know when to be excited and when to control your excitement. With some people it comes with age, some people it comes with experience, some people it comes with mistakes, some people are born mature. Bumrah falls in that category. I think I have summed it up the way you would have liked to hear it.
Perfectly crisp. And a last one, let's have you talking us about England's batting now. That since England, it is England now who are tottering at 84 for 5. Even their night, they have lost their night watchman now, and it's Bairstow and Ben Stokes who will have to do the saving part for England. D2 ends here tomorrow again. D3 resumes, and I personally felt, with so many overs cut short, a lot of game time perhaps was less anyways. How do you see England approach D3 from tomorrow with these two doing the job for England?
uh Damini, I'll tell you one thing. Yes, you look at the rain delays and you feel that how much the match has been lost due to rain. But at the speed, and credit to Indian batters, especially Rishabh Pant and you know Jadeja. If you look at the scorecard, and as a layman, you don't know that it has rained. You will look at the scorecard and you say, "Oh, this match is very perfectly set up." One team all out for 414, other 83 for 5, 3 days to go. So basically, if you like in a test match, you need 40 wickets for a test match to complete. Right now, 15 wickets have fallen. So on an average, 8 wickets a day. That's like if you look at it that way. But normally it happens is the wicket starts doing well, then it's good for batting, then it becomes very bad for batting. And by end, you start getting 12, 13 wickets. But the credit to Indian batters, this match is very nicely set up. There are 6 sessions or 9 sessions to play in this test match, and that's a lot of cricket. There will be long days, so because of the rain delays, they will try to make up to them for the maximum overs they can. At least 1 hour a day will be added to the game, so that is like 21 hours of cricket is still left in this test match if we don't have further rain delays. You talked about England. I think England will have to counter attack at some stage. This is a wicket where you know the modern cricket is such that we don't have players who, like, you don't have Gavaskars and Dravids. Those days are gone when you could survive a session, tire the bowlers, and
Exactly.
then find a, yeah.
Yes.
So the best way to come out of a situation like this will be, at some stage they will have to counter attack. The problem right now is that when does England think of counter attacking Indians? They have the two best players to do that, but that's the only two players who can do that. Unless someone surprises us from the late middle order of England. It's cricket, anything can happen. So at some stage, Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow will counter attack India. to come out of this situation, to rattle Indian bowlers, to disturb their line and lengths. And Indians will have to be patient. Today we saw, sometimes you learn from the mistakes of others. I touched upon it in the morning that the biggest mistake England did today was that they were fearing that if they bowl pitch it up, Indians will get a lot of runs. They started bouncing Indians. I can tell you in these conditions, wickets will come if you pitch it up. Bumrah got the 3 wickets. First one was a peach of a delivery. Next 2 wickets were because he created those pressures, and then you call this laddu ball कि एक बॉल ना थोड़ा सा ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर आगे देते हैं एंड बिकॉज बैट्समैन इज सो मच अंडर प्रेशर ही इज डिफेंडिंग ही इज लीविंग ही इज बी गेटिंग बीटन एंड सडनली यू सी दैट बॉल लिटिल आउटसाइड द ऑफ स्टंप ड्राइविंग लेंथ एंड यू फील अरे इसको तो मारना है and you go for that shot. That's called lure ball. And Bumrah got those 2 wickets on the lure ball. Those were not good cricketing shots. So I think Indians will have to consistently keep doing that, knowing fully well that if Barstow and Ben Stokes are attacking them, they don't have to fall in that trap. They have still have to, even if they give some runs, they have to be continuously bowling in the right areas. Joyda, the great Joyda, is with us, who had a great day of Test cricket, and
Welcome, Joyda.
Thank
he
you.
can tell us more.
I'm
He can.
yeah, I completely agree with whatever you're saying. The reason being that I think those balls. What they do is I happen to be in the same box as Jim Boycott, and he was saying that he can't imagine why these players play these balls because he has left balls like this all his life. But the
Hmm.
times have changed, with T20 and one day cricket and everything coming in. The strike rate has gone up. The more runs are scored in Test matches. So all that is very good for visual pleasure. But this is about winning a Test match for England because to draw the series. And as I said, I think in the pre-show I said that India is not undercooked. A
Hmm.
lot of people thought India is undercooked. I didn't think so because the potency of the team is different. The potency of the team is very, very strong. And this is Indian attack is no QA attack. It's a prolonged attack. It's on your face. It really can make you pay. And today was just discipline. Yeah, it was nibbling around. Things were happening. The weather helped. Everything helped. There was rain. There was moisture. Everything happened. But the point here is you still got to put the ball in the right areas. And Nishan rightly said, very, very loose batting from England. I was very surprised because if you thought the end of the first innings, you're giving the remote away, the control is with the other team. You don't want to do that. And even if they could win this test, when a team gets 400, you first thing you do is try and save the test match. Okay, so that's where I thought England were
Indeed.
very, very lackadaisical and very, very loose in their batting today,
Hmm.
and they paid for it.
Okay, so on an ending note, Joyda, since
I
you
don't,
are watching
Damini,
this match from the stadium.
Damini, are we
Yes,
allowed to
yes, Nishan.
stretch this show a bit because it's very rare to get Joyda with good connectivity, and he was at the ground.
Yeah,
So I
true.
want to ask him few
By
questions,
all
if
means,
you allow
Sure,
me.
sure.
If you
by
allow
all
me,
means.
please.
So yes, indeed. Okay, go ahead,
Joyda,
Nishant.
Joyda, I want to talk to you about, you have been in Bengal cricket setup for a while. You
Mm,
know, I sometimes feel that Shami has not got his due as a cricketer. Like today, his
yeah,
spell, he could have easily got 2 wickets. I think the wickets Bumrah got and the Siraj got was the creation of Shami. And I was listening to the commentary. I don't know whether you listened because you were at the ground at that time, and you
no, I
had.
didn't
I don't
listen.
know whether you had.
I didn't listen.
Nasir Hussain said that Bumrah is the most. Sorry, Shami is the most unlucky bowler in English conditions. So he got a
Yeah,
stat that he has beaten the bat 379 times without taking a
yeah,
wicket. That's like 64 overs. Tell
yeah.
us a
True.
little more about Shami and how he helped India to create this pressure today.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you hunt in pairs. You also bowl as a group. If there's one player, one bowler who's leaking runs, then the whole pressure goes away. And that's where I thought, the Indian team were superb. But I think he's got his due. He's played what, close to 50, 60 test matches? 60 test matches for a fast bowler in India. Nishan, how rare that is.
Yeah.
Kapil Dev, Ishant Sharma, Zain Khan. How many? Off the head, how many can you remember? Not too many. Not too many. So somebody coming in playing 60 test matches, World Cups, and he's back in the one-day team. So, he's got his due. Yeah, but he's a very unlucky bowler. And generally, outswing bowlers will always be unlucky bowlers. It's the in-swing bowlers because they bring it back in. But, he will have his days, he will have his time. But yes, he does seem to beat the bat more often than others without making it. I completely agree with you on that. But he has got his due. When you play 60 test matches for the country, then you are indeed very, very special.
And Joyda, another question which I want to ask you that in hindsight, don't you feel that England bowled way too short in the first 5 6 overs where they
Of
thought
course,
that they will
of course.
bounce Indian tailenders, and that's where they leaked a lot of runs?
Yeah, that happened because they don't have the potency. They don't have the ammunition to hurt India by bowling up, which Jimmy Anderson had. They're not seam bowlers. Today you saw India bowl on the same pitch, on the same in same conditions, and how lethal were they looking. And it's a great selection to play Siraj also because he is bowling superbly. So I was seeing the speed gun 141, 143, 142. So constantly to bowl full length, like you rightly said, and to be able to bowl 141, 142, make the batsman play. See, as a batter, the worst thing you want is to play a ball which can hit you because the first two outs that you try to save is bowled in LBW in cricket. And Indians bowled a length where the English batsmen had to play a lot more. And bowled and LBW was in play more than when England bowled to India. They were very short, as you rightly said. And on a wicket like this, where it's nibbling around, I always want to play the ball short because I have more time to see the ball off the pitch rather than when it's just fallen 4 yards ahead of me instead of when it's fallen 6 or 7 yards ahead of me. I have more time to react to that ball.
I think we can, listening to you, I think I can easily say that in English conditions, Indian bowlers bowled more like English bowlers, and English bowlers bowled like more like a touring side who are still trying to find the right length,
Yeah,
despite
I think,
playing 3 test matches before this.
yeah. Also, what happened is I think the way Pant played them, the moment they bowled up and they didn't swing the ball as much as we did. So when Pant played them, the way Pant played them also made them go, push their length back a bit, which played into the hands of the Indians because the swing stopped.
Yeah.
And I think Leach bowled for too long from one end, just opened up the game. I've got no idea, from what I have a little bit of cricket I understand, I've got no idea how you can bowl Leach from one end for 7 overs for 45 runs and open up the game. If somebody else had bowled those 7 overs and given 20, 22 runs away, there would have been some sort of pressure would have been created. But there was nothing that was done because he just kept leaking runs, leaking runs, and leaking runs, and that opened up the game. And in these conditions, I would love for spinners bowling on one end because I'm not going to get out to him. I'm going to worry about the other end only. So instead of worrying about 12 balls, I have to worry about 6 balls because those 6 balls of the spinner is not going to get me out. And on the other end, it opened up the game. Suddenly everything opened up. The fielders were back. The batters, you get confidence. Suddenly someone batting on 37 is now batting on 67 in about 3 overs. So suddenly you feel, oh, wow, this is my day. So I was really baffled by Leach bowling on a first day wicket where it's seeming and it's cloudy and there's so much of juice in the pitch.
Before I let you go and allow
Indeed.
you to have your Balti chicken at the Soho Road in Birmingham, I very quickly, do you think that it was very very unusual for a Brendan McCullum to take a backward step, sending Leach to as a night watchman when you knew that there are still 25 minutes left? That
That's a
was
great
like cricket of
question.
90.
That's a great question. And the sun and the light was at its best then. In fact, when the game finished, the sun was the strongest of all 2 days. We could have played
Yeah.
another hour. Yeah, I think so. I think that for me is the first step that they've taken back since he's taken over. And it's very unlike him. But he must have felt we are down in this game and we need something. And then Ben Stokes ultimately to come out didn't look very comfortable. It's not going to be easy tomorrow morning. The conditions don't change a lot. So having said that, I just feel that it's the more this game is going, the more this game is getting away from India. From England. The more you're playing into India's hands, the more you're doing exactly what India would want you to do. Send a night watchman, panic, play shots outside off stump. This is exactly the things that they were not supposed to do, are the things that they've done.
Thank you, Damni, for allowing
Joyda,
me to take the. Thank you for allowing me to take these questions, because I was throwing all these
finally.
theories to you, so I needed validation from a cricket guru,
Superb, superb.
Joyda,
It's
to
always
validate my.
always lovely to hear from. It's always lovely to hear from somebody as learned and experienced as Joyda. So, on
Thank
an
you, thank
ending
you.
note, Joyda, since you are attending this match at the stadium and it's day
Yeah.
two completion already. So, day three, how do you see? Let's have you talking us through the strategies which Team India and Team England should follow respectively as they get into
No,
this game deeper.
I think India does the same thing. India does exactly the same thing as it does, and India will just have to play just the way they are playing. England have a really tough task, and after that, you know, they have to bat well tomorrow, bat long. First think about saving the game. You can't think about winning the game. First, when a team is performing, you first think about saving the game. I don't think you're in a position to save the game now. You don't bat well in the morning tomorrow. This match could be over day after tomorrow. So England have got a lot of thinking to do. India in a very strong position. They're the last recognized pair. Then they're onto their tail. The weather forecast is pretty much same for tomorrow. It is going to seem around, and at the end of it all, we'll see where it goes. But India in the driver's seat for sure. India needs to do whatever they're doing, and England have a lot of hard work to do. They really need to refocus again.
Indeed, India is on the driver's seat, and we do hope India continue their dominant performance. It was really good talking to both of you, gentlemen. This was
Thank
day
you.
two, and
We'll
we
see you
meet
tomorrow.
again
Thank
for
you.
day three tomorrow in the pre-show.
Thank you.
Until then, thank you so much for joining. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Damni. Bye bye.